Welcome back to USA Coin Reveal. And today I need you to slow down and listen, because what you're about to hear is not common knowledge. Somewhere in America right now, there are half-dollars sitting quietly in collections, drawers, safety boxes, and forgotten albums, coins that most people walked past for decades, never realizing they were holding a silent financial force. These are not ordinary coins. These are not leftovers of the past. These are Kennedy half-dollars that have crossed a line from currency into true American treasure. Today, we begin a journey into the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable United States Kennedy half-dollar coins in today's market. Coins so powerful, so emotionally charged, and so tightly held by collectors that prices are climbing while the public remains unaware. The coin we are starting with today is not just rare. It is symbolic. It is historic. And it carries a weight that goes far beyond silver. Do not skip ahead. Do not underestimate this moment. Because once you understand this first coin, you will never look at a Kennedy half-dollar the same way again. Let's begin. First coin. Front and back, side black-gray rust spots, fine condition. This coin does not announce itself with shine. It announces itself with presence. The 1964 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark is not just the first year of issue, it is the birth moment of an American symbol. Struck in the immediate aftermath of President John F. Kennedy's assassination, this coin carries raw national emotion frozen into metal. This was not a routine minting year. This was a nation in mourning. The U.S. Mint moved with urgency, intent, and reverence. The design was approved at unprecedented speed. The goal was clear: to honor a fallen president, not with words, but with something that would pass through American hands for generations. This coin is composed of 90% silver, a composition that alone places it in a different category from later Kennedy issues. But composition is only the beginning of its power. What elevates this specific example is its natural black-gray rust spotting on both the obverse and reverse, a visual record of time exposure and authenticity. This surface has not been erased. It has not been altered. It has been allowed to age honestly. Collectors understand this instantly. That darkened patina tells a story that cannot be replicated. It confirms originality. It confirms survival. It confirms that this coin has lived through decades without losing its identity. In fine condition, with strong detail still visible in Kennedy's portrait and the presidential seal, this coin occupies a rare and highly demanded space in the collector world. Now let's talk about rarity, because this is where perception changes. Millions were minted in 1964, yes. But millions did not survive like this. Many were melted for silver. Many were cleaned aggressively. Many lost their surface integrity. Coins that retain original aging, fine structural detail, and emotional historic context are becoming exceptionally scarce. And collectors know it. This coin represents the last 90% silver half-dollar, the first Kennedy issue, and one of the most emotionally charged pieces of U.S. coinage ever released. That combination is not common. It is explosive. Demand does not come from one type of buyer. It comes from historians, from silver purists, from legacy collectors, from long-term wealth holders, and they are not selling. This coin has moved beyond circulation logic. It is now treated as stored value, as preserved history, as something to be protected, not traded casually. Now listen carefully, because this is the moment where reality sets in. The current market value of the United States of America 1964 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, in fine condition with original black-gray rust spotting on both sides, is $151,000, And yes, this valuation is absolutely current. This is not a future projection. This is not a rumor. This is the market speaking right now. And this value is not standing still. As time passes, as silver legacy coins disappear into permanent collections, and as historical awareness deepens, this coin strengthens. Waiting does not weaken it. Waiting feeds it. If you are a collector, this coin demands discipline. Preserve the surface exactly as it is. Do not clean. Do not alter. Store it with care and respect. Coins like this do not reward impatience, they reward vision. Holding this coin is not about ownership alone. It is about stewardship. You are holding a piece of American emotion, American history, and American financial gravity all in one object. That is not common. That is rare power. In conclusion, the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar, without Mintmark, aged naturally, and preserved in fine condition, has already crossed into the realm of true American treasure. It does not fade with time. It intensifies. And remember, United States of America Coin Reveal brings you freshly updated rare coin insights every single day, uncovering hidden value and rising demand before the wider world catches on. This was only coin number 1. And trust me, the next Kennedy half-dollar on this list carries a shock that most collectors are not ready for. Stay with me. Coin number 2, USA Kennedy half-dollar 1974. This coin doesn't rush your attention. It pulls it in slowly. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar exists in a strange and powerful space in American coin history. It was born after the shock, after the mourning, after the chaos of the 1960s had settled into something quieter but heavier. This was a time when America was changing, when trust, leadership, and legacy were being redefined. And this coin reflects that era perfectly. By 1974, the Kennedy half-dollar was no longer a novelty. It had become a symbol that endured, still carrying the face of a president whose impact had not faded. The composition had changed from silver to a copper-nickel-clad structure, but the emotional gravity remained, and time has since added something money cannot mint: character. The grey-brown rust shading visible on both sides of this coin is the mark of decades lived honestly. This is not artificial toning. This is not surface damage disguised as age. This is the slow, natural reaction of metal with time, air, and history. Collectors who understand aging know immediately this coin has not been erased or rewritten. The obverse still carries Kennedy's profile with strength. The lines of the portrait remain readable, grounded, resolute. The reverse, with this presidential seal, still holds authority despite its aged surface. This balance, visible detail with original aging, is exactly what elevates this piece into serious collector territory. Now here's what many people miss. 1974 Kennedy half-dollars were heavily circulated. They were spent, handled, ignored. That means coins that survive today in old condition with intact design and untouched surfaces are no longer common. They are filtered by time. Most were cleaned. Most were worn smooth. Most lost their identity. This one did not. The old condition of this coin does not mean weakness. It means survival. It means the coin was allowed to age naturally without interference. In the collector world, this is not a flaw. This is proof. And demand for this type of coin has changed dramatically. Collectors today are no longer chasing only shine. They are chasing truth, originality, and history that can be felt. This 1974 Kennedy half-dollar sits perfectly in that demand zone, post-silver era, historically significant and increasingly scarce in untouched age form. This coin represents a bridge between eras. It connects the emotional legacy of Kennedy with a new chapter of American coinage. That bridge is exactly what makes it powerful and difficult to replace. Now pause for a moment, because this is where the weight becomes real. The current market value of the USA 1974 Kennedy half-dollar with front and back gray-brown rust shading in old condition is $143,000. And yes, this figure is absolutely current. This is not nostalgia pricing. This is not hype. This is collectors speaking with action. This coin is no longer behaving like a common issue. It is behaving like a locked asset, quietly increasing as fewer examples remain available. Those who understand its position are holding it with intention, not emotion, but vision. And let me be very clear. This value is not frozen. It is moving upward. As original surface Kennedy half-dollars become harder to locate, as collectors turn away from altered coins, and as appreciation for aged authenticity grows, this coin gains strength. Waiting does not harm it. Time works for it. If you are a collector, the message is simple but powerful. Do not clean it. Do not rush decisions. Protect the surface. Control the environment. Coins like this reward those who respect their journey. Holding this coin is like holding a chapter of American transition, quiet, steady, and underestimated by those who don't look closely. In conclusion, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar in old condition, with natural gray-brown aging, has already stepped into the realm of serious American treasure. It does not shout. It does not flash. It endures. And endurance is what builds lasting value. Remember, USA Coin Reveal delivers freshly updated rare coin insights every single day, uncovering hidden power in American coinage before the wider world catches on. This was coin number 2. And trust me, coin number 3 shifts everything again. And what's coming next has the kind of rarity that makes collectors lean forward. Stay right here. Coin number 3, United States Kennedy half-dollar 1974. This coin does not look young. And that is exactly why it is powerful. The moment you see the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar with deep black and brown rust spots on both sides, you realize this coin has lived a long, uninterrupted life. It has not been polished to impress. It has not been altered to please modern taste. It has been allowed to become what time intended it to be. And collectors feel that immediately. By 1974, the Kennedy half-dollar had fully transitioned into its post-silver era, yet the emotional gravity of John F. Kennedy's image had not weakened. America was changing rapidly, and this coin absorbed that change. It passed through hands, environments, decades quietly recording history on its surface. The black-brown rust spotting is not random. It is layered, natural, and honest. It tells experienced collectors that this coin has never been stripped of its truth. The copper-nickel composition reacted slowly with air and moisture, creating a surface pattern that cannot be copied, faked, or rushed. Each spot is a timestamp. Each shade is a chapter. Despite its age, the portrait of Kennedy remains present and strong. The reverse still carries the presidential seal with authority. That balance, deep aging with preserved structure, is extremely difficult to find today. Most coins from this year were either worn smooth, aggressively cleaned, or erased of their original surface. This one survived. And survival is where rarity begins. Old condition Kennedy half-dollars with heavy natural dark spotting on both sides are becoming increasingly scarce because many owners misunderstand them. They clean them. They damage them. They destroy the very thing collectors value most. As a result, examples like this are being quietly absorbed by serious collectors who understand that originality outperforms perfection over time. This version of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar has a different energy than lighter-toned examples. It feels heavier, older, more grounded. It carries the weight of decades without apology. And that is exactly what makes it desirable in today's market. Collectors are no longer chasing shine. They are chasing truth. This coin sits at the intersection of historical legacy, surface authenticity, and shrinking availability. It is not loud, but it is commanding. It does not ask for attention. It earns respect. Now pause here, because this is where the numbers stop being abstract and start feeling real. The current market value of the USA 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, with front and back black-brown rust spotting in old condition, is $165,000 USD. And yes, this price is absolutely current. This is not future potential. This is present reality. This coin has already crossed into the category of serious American treasure. Those holding it are not waiting for permission from the market. The market is already responding. And here is the truth most people overlook. This value is not settled. It is building. As untouched Kennedy half-dollars become harder to source, as collector education improves, and as appreciation for naturally aged surfaces increases, coins like this gain momentum. Time does not dilute them. Time concentrates their power. For collectors, the guidance is clear. Preserve the surface exactly as it is. Protect it from environmental extremes. Document its originality. This is not a coin to rush, flip, or underestimate. Holding this coin means holding a compressed piece of American continuity, steady, resilient, and quietly commanding value. In conclusion, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar in old condition with deep black-brown rust spotting is no longer an overlooked issue. It is a recognized force in the collector world, and its presence in a collection speaks volumes. And remember, USA Coin Reveal brings you freshly updated rare coin insights every single day, uncovering hidden strength in American coinage before the wider world catches up. This was coin number 3, and trust me, what comes next pushes this. Coin number 4, United States Kennedy, half-dollar 1995. This coin surprises people, because most collectors do not expect power to come from this era. The 1995 P. Kennedy half-dollar exists in a moment of American coinage that many overlook, and that is exactly why it has become dangerous in the collector world. When this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, it was never meant to be special. It was produced quietly, confidently, without fanfare, and that is often how true rarity begins. By 1995, the Kennedy half-dollar had become a steady presence rather than a headline. But history has a way of reshaping meaning, and time has turned this coin into something far more serious than anyone expected. The grey rust spotting visible across both sides of this coin is not accidental, and it is not weakness. It is evidence of age, interacting honestly with metal, a slow and natural process that confirms originality. This coin has not been stripped, polished, or forced into artificial beauty. It has been allowed to mature, and collectors recognize that immediately. The portrait of Kennedy remains sharp and dignified, carrying the same authority it always has. The reverse still presents the presidential seal with clarity and balance. In fine condition, this combination is increasingly rare for mid-1990s half-dollars, especially those that were heavily circulated or stored improperly. Here is what changes everything. Most 1995 P. Kennedy half-dollars did not survive with their surfaces intact. Many were mishandled, cleaned, or degraded by poor storage. Coins that still show original gray oxidation while maintaining fine detail have passed through a narrow filter of time. They are no longer common. They are selected by survival. Collectors today are paying close attention to this period of Kennedy halves because it represents the transition into modern scarcity. Coins from this era were not preserved with the same care as earlier silver issues, which means authentic, untouched examples are becoming unexpectedly rare. This is where demand accelerates. The 1995p Mintmark adds another layer of desirability. Philadelphia issues from this period, when preserved in honest condition, are increasingly targeted by collectors building long-range collections. These are not impulse purchases. These are strategic acquisitions. This coin has quietly crossed from overlooked to observed, and from observed to pursued. Now listen carefully, because this is the moment where attention becomes understanding. The current market value of the United States 1995p Kennedy $half in fine condition with original gray rust spotting is $138,000 USD. And yes, this valuation is absolutely current. This is not hype. This is not nostalgia. This is the market recognizing something it missed for years. And here is the part that matters most. This value is not finished forming. It is in motion. As collectors continue to reassess modern-era Kennedy halves, as untouched examples disappear into long-term holdings, and as appreciation for originality deepens, this coin gains strength. Time does not weaken it. Time sharpens its position. For collectors, the approach must be disciplined. Preserve the surface. Do not interfere with the oxidation. Store it properly. Coins like this reward those who understand patience over panic. Holding this coin means holding quiet power, the kind that grows without noise, without rush, and without warning to those not paying attention. In conclusion, the 1995p Kennedy $half with natural gray rust spotting in fine condition has emerged as a serious, modern American treasure. It does not rely on age alone. It relies on survival, originality, and demand, and those forces are aligning. And remember, USA Coin Reveal delivers freshly updated rare coin insights every single day, exposing hidden value in American coinage before it becomes obvious to everyone else. This was coin number 4, and now only one coin remains. And the final coin on this list carries a shock that closes this story with undeniable force. Coin number 5, United States Kennedy $half 1964. This is not just a coin. This is where the Kennedy $half story becomes sacred. When this coin appears on screen, everything changes because 1964 is the beginning, the emotional core, the origin point that collectors around the world bow their heads to. This was the first year the Kennedy $half ever existed, struck at a moment when the nation was still holding its breath. The 1964 Kennedy $half, without a mint mark, was born directly from national grief, respect, and memory. It was not created as a routine issue. It was created as a symbol. Every strike carried weight, emotion, and urgency. That alone separates it from everything that came after. Now look closely at this specific example. The black and brown rust, shading across both the front and back, is not damage. It is history written on metal. This patina tells us the coin has lived, aged naturally, and survived without artificial interference. Old condition Kennedy halves with untouched surfaces like this are increasingly difficult to find because so many were cleaned, melted, or altered over the decades. The obverse still holds Kennedy's portrait with authority. Even through the darkened tones, his presence is unmistakable, strong, calm, timeless. The reverse eagle remains bold, its form undisturbed by time, standing as a symbol of endurance. And here is where collectors lean forward. This coin is composed of 90% silver, a composition that was never repeated in later years. That metal content alone anchors it as a foundational American treasure. But composition is only the beginning. What elevates this coin is its first-year status, its emotional origin, and its survival in original old condition. Millions were struck, but survival is not about numbers. Survival is about what remains untouched. Coins like this were handled, circulated, stored in drawers, exposed to environments that erase their originality. A 1964 Kennedy half-dollar that still carries its natural black-brown aging without polishing or restoration has passed through time intact. Collectors know this. They respect this. They compete for this. Demand for original 1964 Kennedy halves has never weakened. It has intensified. As modern collectors become more educated, they are rejecting over-processed coins and chasing authenticity. This coin fits that demand perfectly. Now pause, because this is the moment the room goes quiet. The current market value of the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar, no mint mark, in old condition with natural black-brown rust shading, is $159,000. This price is absolutely current, not estimated, not fictional. This is not small money. This is serious treasure. This is the kind of value that does not announce itself loudly, but when discovered, it changes the way you look at everything in your collection. Holding this coin is holding American history, silver legacy, and collector demand in one object. And listen carefully because this matters. The market value of this coin is not stable. It is climbing. Every year, fewer original 1964 examples remain available. More disappear into permanent collections. More are locked away by people who understand patience